welcome to another edition of Beer for Breakfast ABV. I am Danielle. I do mornings at 91X. I am on the Moog Show. As always, I have my beer drinking partner in crime, also my twinning today, Paul Segura, brewmaster of R&D over at Karl Strauss. And today is super duper special. You know, I know that you're not supposed to say a place is your favorite brewery because they're like all of our children, we love all of them equally. However, this is my favorite brewery in San Diego. Right now, we're at Fall Brewing in North Park. Joining me, I have Larry, sales manager. And
Hello,
I also have Caesar, and Caesar is the purveyor of friendship, Tier 1 sales beer baron.
So it goes on.
I know what's with the long title, man?
They just want me to feel important. Really, they're not really sure what I do yet. So, they made up a bunch of things and they hope that I hit one of those targets.
I love that. Well, you were all about the Tier 1 friendship.
It's a rare
And that brings tears to my eyes.
Right?
We didn't have to pay him much as long as we gave him a cool title.
Well, we have so much to cover, so let's start out with the first beer. What is the first beer that we're having, Larry?
Ooh, the Devil's Right Hand.
Sounds like something
right
Paul's all
hand.
about.
Right?
Yes.
Gosh, it always escapes me who actually wrote the song, but I think this is a song that the Man in Black made famous.
Johnny Cash.
Yes, here's to Johnny.
Yes. Cheers.
Rest in peace.
John Earl, like he's the guy who wrote it, but this is a beer that it's a great way to start. It's a lager. I think a lot of people that know us know that one of the things we're known for is doing great lagers.
Oh, plenty for all.
Oh, there's another one over there. There's a few other lagers that we do, and for a brewery our size, I think we're doing some pretty kick-ass lagers. It's not some stuff that it's not things that you beers that you see that often from a brewery our size. But so Paul and I were talking earlier. We kind of struggled with what style this beer is because there's a certain malt called Vienna that is absent from this beer that would make it a Vienna lager.
But there's a lot of Munich malt in this beer.
There is a lot of Munich
which could make
malt.
it a Munich lager.
It could be a Munich lager.
Not sure that's an accepted or, established beer style, but...
I don't know that the Munich lager is, but at the same time, we also talked about how in this era of hop bombs and, we all know what's selling out there. Amber beers, brown beers, malty beers have kind of taken a little bit of a back seat, but kind of true to what fall does, we make beers that we like. And this is not an amber lager. This is a lager beer.
Well, that's just throwing me off right now. So I know that we do not drink with our eyes.
Right.
We drink with our palate.
Right.
But why isn't this clear like most lagers that I see?
It is clear.
Well, I mean, okay, why isn't it lighter? It's kind of a caramely color. It's a caramely color.
It's got a very Märzen-esque color.
Yeah.
Light copper, perhaps?
Would we call it a light fest beer?
Yeah.
Is that kind of where
Is
we're
that
at?
a thing?
No. I guess what we're trying to do is skirt around the fact that this is a really light, crisp, clean-tasting,
nutty,
bready,
toasty, slightly toasty.
Yeah,
but it is not an amber lager, despite its color. How would you describe it?
So I would call this for me is the perfect beer to drink on a really hot day. This seems like a really great beer to have if I'm, maybe going out on a hike, if I've been outside, if I'm gonna go to the beach, something that I don't want a ton of bitterness behind. I don't want a huge ABV behind. I want to be able to crush a few of these and not, have my dog figure out how we get back home.
Despite its sepia hue.
Sepia hue.
Oh,
Look at that.
You fancy.
For the
Look at
gram.
you.
Hey, it's not amber. It's not brown.
So what is the ABV on this?
4.7, I believe.
So it is very crushable, quaffable, gillable.
All those awesome words.
Again, it has that nice coppery feel to it. It's very Märzen-like almost.
But it's
definitely
got a
get
lot of flavor.
I could imagine this with tacos.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
To go really crazy with it, I've been making a lot of micheladas at home.
Oh.
I can see some savory ingredients going
You can see
into
the
this.
effect I'm having on Larry already.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I've been on the same kick lately, and actually that sounds awesome. That sounds like it'd be really, really good.
I've done it quite a bit with this beer. It's great for micheladas. and I can give away my secret recipe if off camera.
Okay, we'll talk about this. We'll talk
It's too
about this.
proprietary to share with everybody else.
There'll be a link if you want to purchase
There
the
is a
recipe.
secret ingredient.
I will say this about this beer. I feel like this is a good convert beer. I feel like if you maybe are, not about craft beer, you might be a little bit scared about it. This is a great convert into craft beer because it's very unoffending, which Fall Brewing is an offending brewery. Just kidding.
We can offend if we want.
So I totally
know you
agree.
can.
People come through the front door and they may not be like accustomed to craft beer. They might say, what's your lightest beer? Or do you have a Pilsner on tap? And you got that covered. Then if they ask for a red beer, something amber colored, you got that covered.
And we are
Definitely.
proud. I mean, if you look at our menu, there's something for everybody. When you walk through these doors, no matter what your style you're into, no matter what you want to drink, there's going to be something on the board that's going to fit your palate and it's going to keep you happy.
My personal fave is a 2 a.m. bike ride. That's
Well,
always
who
like
isn't
your
a
personal
favorite?
favorite to have.
2 a.m. bike ride.
Paul's ahead of
Come on. Well,
I don't want to get too far out of
The beer
Too
and
far
the
out there.
activity.
Well, and as you were saying, you guys do have a great variety. I'm a huge hop fan, so are you guys down to move on to the next beer, the IPA?
can do that, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm really, really excited about this one. Caesar, tell me about this beer.
This is our wonderful Goo Goo Muck.
Goo Goo Muck.
So Goo Goo Muck has been by far our best-selling beer in the past 2 or 3 months. Essentially, it's a take on our Green Hat IPA. It's a very similar style and recipe, just an unfiltered version, if you will. There's a certain H word that we don't throw around here, but
That was going to be my next question.
yeah.
Can we say it's murky?
Yes, let's go
Okay.
with that. It's juicy.
So,
it's a nice
like,
juice
okay.
bomb. It accentuates the flavors in there. You're going to get that real nice profile that you get out of the
Total
Green Hat.
orange, man.
Yeah, lots of citrus coming
Real
right off the
tropical.
nose.
I get almost like a burnt pineapple in there, like when you barbecue it. So it's
I get a lot of
just jumps out
tropical.
of
Yeah, you get some mangoes going on in there. Super fruity.
super easy drinking beer as well.
What hops are used in this?
It's almost the exact same recipe as our Green Hat IPA. So Citra, Simcoe, Centennial, and
Do you guys use a different yeast though that doesn't?
There is
settle
a
out?
different yeast in this. So this is a very similar beer to Green Hat, and we do use a lower attenuating, more estery, less flocculating yeast.
Might that
than
be
you
the
would
London 3?
What are all of those words that you just said? Because it sounds like you're making up words
I
right
said
now.
those words, and he clued in on the brewmaster knew what I was talking about.
That's why I bring him along. Otherwise, I just look like someone who's drinking on the radio.
The yeast puts out more ester, so more fruity.
Okay.
It doesn't flocculate, so it doesn't sink and clear like other yeasts do. And it doesn't attenuate as much. So normally this beer is 7.3. When we use that yeast, this comes out to more like 6.6. So it doesn't attenuate as, and it just makes a softer mouthfeel. But the hop profile is exactly the same, and definitely hinges on a lot of Citra. I think there might be a little bit of extra dry hopping compared to Green Hat, but again, the DNA of Green Hat is in this beer, and you got both options. You can get Green Hat from San Diego, and you can get Green Hat from Bangor, Maine, or wherever those kids are doing in Vermont or whatever.
I mean, so the thing that I'm enjoying about this beer is the flavor doesn't stick with you for a very long time. It has a super clean finish.
It has a slight bit of residual sweetness, and then all the fruit just kind of takes over on your tongue. I'd say this is a quintessential. I won't use the H word.
Don't use the H word. Greg's around.
it's like Beetlejuice. If you say it too much, he shows up angry.
So that style of beer. This would be the I don't know, yardstick. I don't know what else to say. You look up that style of beer. This epitomizes it fully.
And we've talked about this before, this isn't a yeast bomb. Like, you can't see, a bunch of yeast suspending in the glass. Like, obviously you can't see through it, but it's not a giant glass of orange juice or pineapple juice.
When we've discussed any of these beers that we want to do, whether it be the lupulin saturation or some of our other limited can releases that we've done, we never wanted to make orange juice. We want to do it our way. And this just happens to be the way that we like to drink them. So none of them are going to be, they're going to have bitterness.
Yeah.
Like some of the hazies or northeast that I'd have.
I thought we weren't allowed to say that word.
Well, I'd had hazies.
Some
of the hazies I've had.
Not in this
The ones out
establishment.
there. The ones out there.
All those people.
Those people.
have had no bitterness. Like there are a few that I've had, it's just all hop flavor and aroma. This is balanced.
Yeah.
It has some bitterness, it has some flavor, it has some aroma, but it's still that soft palate. And I think we're doing these beers our way, the way we would envision them, the way that we like them.
I'd say cheers
So I'm
to
a
that.
fan of that philosophy in general. I think if you want to make a certain type of beer, if you start with that image in your head and you just go for it and say, we're not so worried about competitions and tailoring the beers to fit neatly into the established beer categories or styles. We make beer that we like to make, and we think other people are going to enjoy it too. I dig that philosophy. I love that.
I've had some accounts tell me that it's not hazy. I'm like, well, yeah, exactly.
What's not
But is
hazy
it
about
delicious?
that?
You know what I'm talking about, the really viscous OJ ones that are out there, and that's not what we set out to make.
Your take, Humpty.
And just crushable.
It's beer, man. It's like art. It shouldn't have to conform to very rigid, rules and stuff.
At the end of the day, if people like it and they're drinking it, that's all we care about.
Right.
So a little bit about the history of Fall Brewing. You guys just celebrated your 3rd anniversary, right?
In November.
Right. Anniversary comes at about San Diego Beer Week, correct?
that.
Like
Thank you.
around there. So congratulations on that.
Thank
That's
you.
super exciting. Just kind of in general, over that time, what are you seeing the difference between when Fall first opened up and where you guys are now 3 years later?
There's some things that are different. There's obviously some things that are the same. I mean, I think what's the same is our commitment to making clean, consistent, classic beers. If you look at our tasting board right now, we've got an English Pale Ale, we've got a Czech Lager, we've got a German-style Pilsner, we've got American Pale Ale, we've got a Milk Stout, a Classic Stout. I mean, we stick to making the beers that are classic and that we like and doing them well and consistent. And then if we're gonna experiment and kind of move into new realms, we do it cautiously and we make sure that we still pay homage to where we came from.
I love that you bring up consistency because I know that when I get a fall beer, it's going to taste the same way as it did the last time I was here, or if I'm someplace else.
Thank you, Dan.
That's
Yes,
a credit
thanks,
to all
Dan.
these guys back here.
Yeah, I mean, that's huge. There's nothing more of a bummer than when you go to a brewery and you're super stoked for a beer and you get it and it doesn't taste like what you remember it tasting like. Because things happen, it's a science, things happen. But I love that you guys take the extra time and the extra quality control to make sure that you guys are consistent every time.
And to me, that's a huge bonus point for any brewery that you want to talk about. As far as the great breweries in town, is that you know what you're getting every time, and the attention to detail, because it's a science back here, it's an art, it's a passion, but to be able to drive that into a consistent product every time, it's a huge deal.
Anybody can make a good beer. Making that same good beer day after day, week after week, year after year, takes skill as a brewer to do that. It takes some, everybody doing things on the same page. By the way, right now it smells like coffee.
So good.
Vanilla coming from back here. I mean, it's like over the top. It smells so good.
And it's been cool watching also, and that's another thing that is cool about this brewery in general, is you are literally among the brewers and everything that they're doing. Like, you see everything going on. There's no walls, there's no, smoke and hitting beers. Like, you see everything going on. And I think that that's really cool also.
People can just hang out right here and watch these guys,
Got nowhere to hide.
Right. There it is.
I've been with this company going on 2 years, and I've worked for other breweries, as some people might know, but I used to come here, in my off time and drink, and it's one of the things that really cemented it for me is obviously the quality of the beer. I love coming in here and seeing guys from a myriad of San Diego's community. It's a great honor that we are the Brewers Brewery, and I don't think that I'm going too far out there and saying that because I see them in here. I was one of those people before I worked for the company.
I used to live 2 blocks behind here, and I moved away almost a year ago, but I still make the effort. I, come to No Park, North Park just to come to Fall because I know what I'm getting when I come here, and I love that. So the 3rd beer that we're having, I love the name of this beer because it's just fantastic.
We like dogs here.
And we like to snuggle and cuddle. So are we going to release the actual name of the beer?
Puppy Cuddles.
Puppy Cuddles.
Puppy Cuddles.
There we go.
It's an amazing beer, but I think it sells based on the name.
This is the name.
And the picture that's on the board, that
Yeah.
is the cutest dog. Is that somebody's dog or is that a random dog?
You'd have to ask Dave. I wouldn't know that.
I'll ask Dave Lively when we're
Where
on.
is Dave?
Where is that?
Where is that guy?
Where's that Dave Lively?
Oh, he's around here somewhere.
You look at that name, you look at that picture, it's like the cheat code in Contra.
If you enjoy all of the awesome packaging that you see or any of the graphics that Fall has to do, one of the owners, Dave Lively, he does all of that and it's awesome. It's really great graphics. So, Puppy Cuddles. Tell
You
me
guys
about
had
this.
me at Milk Stout. I mean, the name is just bonus, and that picture of the dog is just makes
I
me
mean,
love the beer even more.
There's a reason why we chose to have this beer. We wanted to have a lager. We wanted to have something hoppy. And we're also known for, there's a few dark beers that we do that we're known for. The 2 a.m. bike ride with the Dark Horse coffee and the real vanilla. Apocalypse Pony, it's Big Brother. This is just another,
Variant.
carrying on of that line. I mean, we do the light lagers, we do the hoppy stuff, and here's a nice 4.4% milk stout on nitro that you can just crush.
So creamy.
It really is very creamy. It just lingers. It coats your whole palate. It's got just the right balance, just the right amount of residual sugar.
Just like when you're hugging a puppy and they get this tongue in your mouth.
Or like,
That I want to watch all day.
Oh, goodness.
it's not super roasty though either. It's
Just enough roast barley.
like we say, you don't drink with your eyes.
Oh, there it is. Look
And
at
our
that.
hand model has just.
If you don't drink it, that puppy dies.
Don't say that.
Where's Dave? Dave's not here, man.
He's not here, man.
Man.
Great job on this beer.
If you are a dog owner, this place is so dog friendly. If you come here in the evening, you'll run into at least 5 dogs. Like, this is the most dog friendly spot. I used to bring my dog here. I still bring her here all the time. One of their beer tenders, Kevin, that is his girlfriend. If I don't come here without her, it's kind of an issue. But if you have a well-behaved dog, super dog friendly, kid friendly as well. So you can bring the kiddos here if you need to have a little beer.
And look at those taster paddles.
So cool.
Thumbs
so
up.
So cool. Well, it is National IPA Week. National IPA Day is actually going to be on Saturday. So you guys have some special IPAs that are coming out this week. And I think that we need to talk to your head of production, Greg.
Yes, we've got a bunch of cool stuff coming out. Some
Where
good
is that guy?
collaborations.
Let's get Greg. So we're now joined by production manager Greg. You're also quality control. You make sure that everything comes out of here that's fantastic, right?
Yes.
And I love that. It is National IPA Day on Saturday, and I know you guys are about to have some really awesome IPA releases going on. What do we have to look forward to?
There's quite a bit coming up in the next 2 weeks. We have the first one up is called It's Not a Fitting Niche. It's an old Tanner song, which is a local band. We brewed it in collaboration with Fieldwork Brewing. Alex came down and got up on the brew stand and helped us make some beer.
Alex Tweet.
Yes, Alex Tweet.
Hugo Tweet came
Yeah.
down and Alex is with him.
But,
Hugo brought Alex.
Yeah, Hugo brought Alex. It's going to be an interesting beer. So we brewed it in the style of a New England hazy IPA. However,
Oh no, I was told that you are not
He
a
said
fan
it.
of
He
the
said
H
the word.
word.
I don't really care.
You're
Shut it down, guys.
Shut it down. You're fired.
It's accepted now, right? So they made it official. I
It's
can
official
say it.
now,
Yeah.
you know. Brewers Association, they said it's a category now.
Right. But then we fermented it out with a French Saison yeast. So
What?
yeah, it's going to
guys
be a
are out
little
of control.
different. Yeah, we're doing some crazy things now.
Wow.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
What else do we have? I know that you guys have the Pink Boots collaboration you did, right?
Yep. So then next week on Tuesday, we're canning both the Pink Boots collaboration, and we have a triple IPA collaboration that we did with Pat McElhaney.
Wait.
You're canning both of those.
Canning both of them on the same day. So I'm not sure when the pink boots will actually be released because we're doing labels somewhere else with those, but yeah.
Wow.
So those will both be showing up
Where
next
will
week.
people be able to buy those cans?
Here
in the taste.
Larry?
Here and your better bottle shops and anywhere we buy fine craft beer.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and I love that, it's not, you don't necessarily have to come to the brewery to try these beers. Like, you're going to be able to get them and, like, hold on to them. Because I know that sometimes these releases come out and you're like, I've got to rush and get it now before it's gone.
Yeah, I haven't seen anyone run in.
I run in here all the time. What are you talking about?
You get a chance to get some of our beers.
Probably better and fresher to have it here, right?
Yeah,
But I
definitely
would say
better and
about
fresher.
2 to 4 weeks is like this is almost gone.
Yep.
That one.
Saturation.
Get it?
Some of these last just a few weeks, and I think the same will be for the niche and the dirty boots and the fall pine.
Fall pine, yeah.
So I have a very important question to ask you, since
Sure.
you're the chief around here.
Boxers or briefs?
Nope, not that question.
Oh, okay.
I want to know about Unicorn Stampede.
What about it?
When's it coming back?
I'm not
'Cause
sure.
I
Kevin
love
just quit.
that beer. I'm sorry. I know. I love
he had a good
that beer. Will it ever
miss
come
you.
back?
It might come through again sometime in the future.
All right. Well, I'm putting in my personal request. The Unicorn Stampede comes back. I'll drink all of it because that is one of the best beers. And that's the thing about Fall Brewing is they do these beers and everything is so awesome that they've got to make room for new beers. And so you're kind of like, well, what about that one?
Right? I mean,
I'm sure you go through it at Karl Strauss, right?
well, yeah, every brewery I think does, right? But you come here for like magical and delicious or whatever, and then you try something else. You go, okay, that's my new favorite beer. Wow.
Dude, the Weekend Pirate series is legit.
Right. we
Your
haven't
Weekend
talked about
Pirate
that.
series is so good. How frequently do those Weekend Pirates come out?
We slowed down on them a little bit.
Yeah.
At first we were pumping them out like every 3 or 4 weeks. So
We're on number 12 now?
yeah,
Right?
Kevin's brother.
Kevin's brother?
Yep,
Yeah.
Kevin's brother. So this one's
The only
mostly
real pirate we know.
Nelson and a lot of Columbus. My two brewers, Sam and Ryan, came up with that one, and
It's a good one. It's an
Yeah.
awesome series. It's really great. Thank you so much, Greg, for telling us about all your awesome IPAs that are about to come out. Larry, thank you for joining us, sales
Thank you for
manager
being
here
here.
at Fall
yeah,
Brewing.
thank you for being here.
Cheers.
Caesar, hold on, I have to read this. Caesar, the purveyor of friendship, Tier 1 sales beer baron. You'll find him out everywhere you go. Paul Segura, as always, thanks for joining me every
Thanks for
week.
having me.
You guys can find Fall Brewing. It's right here in North Park off of 30th Street. You can't miss it. It's surrounded by awesome food. They have food trucks every night, constant rotating beers. What's your guys' Facebook, website, all that fun stuff? Fall Brewing?
At Fall Brewing.
At
Yeah.
Fall Brewing, fallbrewing.com.
Fallbrewing.com, super duper easy. Thank you for joining us again for Beer for Breakfast ABV. I am Danielle. I do mornings at 91X Monday through Friday. I'm on the Moog Show. Every Friday morning you can hear Paul come in live to tell us for Beer for Breakfast what you should be drinking this weekend. And cheers. I hope you're enjoying a tasty fall beer right now. Yeah.
I hope it's plenty for all.
There is plenty for all.